Thanks for tuning in again. Today's episode, I thought I would just share a little bit of what I carry to and fro work, since that seems to spark a little bit of curiosity amongst all of you. Typically, I don't bring a lot of spares, if you ask me. So if you are one who rides around, not commuting, your typical weekend bike ride, it's really no different from there anyway. So I bring 2 spare inner tubes, tire levers, hand pump, a set of first aid, nothing special, small cuts and there. But of course, anything serious, I still have to rely on emergency services. Of course, fingers crossed, I don't need one day. Think about it, I can carry my entire spares with me since I'm using a backpack, as opposed to riding on the weekends where you just have your rear pockets. But then again, what you have with you are essentially load that you put on your back day in, day out. I do this about 50 km a day, so that amount of stress at the lower back, I guess it's a little bit of balance of what you can do on the side of the road and what you can't. So if something does happen mechanically that I can't resolve by the side of the road, then I still have to use taxi services and whatnot to bring me to where I eventually have to go anyway. If for the first time you're trying to commute, a good option is using Google Maps. Again, this context is for Singapore. As you plot your start point and end point, exclude motorways. That way, the map will automatically plot you a route that's rideable without the expressway. Once you have an initial route, Google Earth is the next best option to at least, have a look at your route. Especially what you need to check are the turning points. Check that there are not too many lanes for you to filter right, because that can pose to be a danger if you are a beginner. Sometimes navigating across rightwards as you filter cross lanes, it is a skill that you have to master, both a soft and hard skill actually. Full day have passed. I've just ended work. We're on the topic of quick update about my gear that I use to film these videos. In the past, I usually film with 2 devices, but I realized in order to streamline it, I decided to use 1 instead. So now, to make up for the potential loss of audio quality, I resorted to using of furry dead cats on my GoPro. So hopefully that's helping. But if not, let me know how is this sounding as compared to my past videos. Feel free to chip in. We're in this together.
What colors fade my disbelief? Let me forget my memories. Rent a car you can't afford. Put on something we both know. Let your hair out in the wind.
Also about the topic of roadside maintenance, well, based on past precedents, at least for the past 8 to 9 years of commuting, I would say puncturing while on route maybe happens about once a year. A large part of that is contributed by doing my own maintenance. Always have a pre-ride check, ensure that your tires are okay before you start riding, because just like any other items, they tend to have a shelf life. Obviously, you don't want to be riding them past the recommended mileage. That way, I think in turn you can reduce the probability of punctures. To commuting around Singapore, there are a few things that you must have. It's a helmet. It is mandatory that you have one. Needless to say, it's for your safety and your protection anyway. So, regardless of rules and laws and regulations, follow it anyway. It's for your own safety's sake. In darker hours, namely timings that are like past 7 PM, just like what you see right now, have front and rear light. To top it off, your front light must be white and the one in the back to be red. For someone who commutes to work alone majority of the time, in contrast, cycling is supposed to be a team sport. It always pays to see fellow cyclists en route to work or returning home. It's always a relief, especially the part where you get to draft just ever so slightly, saving that bit of effort. From time to time, I do feel the strains. It takes a toll on my body. Sometimes I get knee pain here and there. One more thing that's not mandatory, but what you observe here, it's me wearing eyewear, because while you're out riding, a sport like cycling where you're constantly interacting with traffic, sometimes stones and rocks, little objects may get kicked up by cars that are riding along beside you. Needless to say, your eyes are the most important. So if you know that you're exposed while riding, protect them.